Welcome back. Here we are, week 5, talking about self-care. I'm Dr. Andrea Christian Parks, and this is the wrap-up of our series on self-care. So if this is the first episode that you are getting to hear, go back, catch up, watch the whole series, because I think we have been talking about self-care in a way that not only tells you why it's important and helps you to see options for how to do it, but really makes it a little bit more approachable than some of the ways we've thought about self-care in the past. So catch up if you haven't already heard all the other episodes this time. But today I really want to get into what happens if you really decide, I just don't see the role of self-care in my life. I see it, but I just can't figure out how to make it work. I mean, really, my life is unbelievably crazy, and I just don't see it. I can't make this work. So let's talk about what happens if you don't take care of you. Okay, let's really think about this for a second, and I want to start by, I want you to imagine, for those of you that have children, particularly for those of you who have daughters, I want you to think for a second. Would you wish your current life, minus self-care, minus the concepts of you matter, minus thinking about your own value, all the stuff we've been talking about the past few weeks, would you wish that life on your daughter as an adult? I mean, she might be 3 years old. She might be 14 years old, whatever age she is. Would you wish her to grow up to be a woman who does wonderful things for everybody else, who does a great job at her career, who does all those things and totally discounts her own needs? I already know the answer because I had to think this through myself. And thinking it through caused me to do a lot of changes, a lot of shifts in making sure that I did some things that I needed to do. And it reaps benefits for them as well, but it was important. So think about that for a second. I want you to imagine what happens, and you can look at other people who do not take care of themselves. You've had aunties or mamas or grandmas. You've had folks in your life who worked themselves to the bone and did not take care of themselves. First of all, their lives may have been admirable in some ways where, I just go, oh, she's such a servant. She's a saint. But deep down, you don't really want to be her. I mean, you kind of admire her and you want to have that generous heart, but you're like, oh, but she just seems like she's just burning it at both ends. She's just not well. And why is she not well? Because she's not balanced. Everything goes out, nothing comes in. That's only sustainable for so long. And then what happens? Burnout. You know people who are just burnt out. They are so exhausted, overloaded, overwhelmed that they are just not able to function at really their full capacity. They're tired, they're miserable, they're depressed, they're sad, they're cranky all the time. They're just not doing great. So burnout happens. Stagnation happens. You know that dream, like when you were younger, high school, whatever, the world had all these possibilities, like what's going to happen in my life, and I could do this, and I might get married one day, and I might have children, and I might have this career, and I might write a book, and I might, all those things. If you don't take care of you, you don't have any dreams. Because you're just survival mode, day by day, trying to get through, wake up in the morning, okay, what can I get done before I can fall out at night? There's no time to dream. There's no time to create. There's no time to become. Well, you do become, but you won't like what you become because you're not intentionally growing. You're just stagnating. You're just sitting in one place and not becoming. So burnout, stagnation, illness. This is a hard one because some people are going to say I'm blaming the victim. I'm not. But people get sick often because they don't take care of themselves. Now, not every illness is related to the way you live. Not every illness has anything to do with anything other than we have no idea why. But a lot of illness, and this is why I'm lifestyle medicine boarded, because a lot of the chronic illness in our lives is related to how we live. And one of the big tenets of lifestyle medicine is stress. Well, stress comes from the way we live. Some of it comes from just the world we live in, but some of it comes from the choices we make. Some of the reasons why we're overweight is because we're not taking care of ourselves in a way that serves us. Some of the times, the reasons why we have the illnesses we have, diabetes or hypertension, those sorts of things, even things that are super common for us as Black women, especially things like autoimmune diseases, come from the chronic stress. Sometimes our weight and our inflammation in our bodies, all that stuff, all of it fits together. So ignoring our needs leads to illness. I'm not saying you can fix every single thing by just revamping your life, but you can change a lot of things by changing your life and changing the concept that you don't factor in to being cared for. It shouldn't, I would hope for you, I pray for you, that you don't get to a place where you are in a severe illness or there's some medical wake-up call or something that makes you say, now I have to change. But it's this radical overhaul that has to happen all at once because it's a dire issue, as opposed to, no, I'm going to change now because I know what could come down the road and I want to create something different for myself. So I want you to tell me, please, I want to hear what you're thinking in the comments. What do you think will happen? What are you creating by not doing self-care versus what do you want to create by incorporating self-care into your life, into your days, into your weeks, into your months, all the time that you're given? How do you want to incorporate the self-care for what you want to create? You know, a lot of the times when I work with my clients, we are working on a goal, a particular thing, either a relationship goal or a weight loss goal or a career goal, something that they want to create. And a lot of it really comes down to, what am I trying to become? What's my future self going to be? And so sometimes creating what you want to create when you've been doing something very different, when you haven't been incorporating self-care, when you haven't been considering intentionally how you want to evolve, sometimes you just need help. Sometimes you need an extra set of objective eyes. So I wanted to put that out there, that maybe the way you incorporate self-care is you get a coach, you get help. It may be a therapist. It may be making a plan with a couple of friends to work together on a goal. It may be all kinds of options. You can come, please tell me in the comments, what things can you do to get the help you need to incorporate self-care in your life? It may be having a conversation with your family and saying, hey, I would like to change some things around here. What do you think? How can we do this together? But remember, you are responsible for you. You cannot control anybody else, and they can't control you. Nobody's coming to save you, sis. You get to take care of you. Okay? So remember, self-care matters because you matter. And what you create when you don't incorporate any self-care versus what you create when you intentionally make a plan for self-care are two completely different outcomes. And I want a great outcome for you. So I will see you in our next video or audio, whichever you're listening to. And I'm so glad you're here. And I can't wait to see what comments you make. Don't forget, subscribe and hit your notifications so that you can not miss not one episode. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.